Black and sexy, baby.
Hi, Black and Sexy. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Underground. I'm Erica Lasan. With the recent grand jury decision finding cop Darren Wilson not guilty of killing young Mike Brown, it comes as no surprise that people are rising in marching in protest. And on the other side of things, that social media is making sure that its voice is heard as well, using the hashtags Alive While Black and Criming While White. We're underground today at 42nd Street to speak with young New Yorkers about their experiences being young and black in America. Have you ever had an incident where you felt uncomfortable because somebody was profiling you?
If I noticed something, I would ask a question and try to get an answer out of the individual or individuals instead of just throwing that race card.
They wanted to stop me. I felt like it was a little aggressive, but I kind of understood it.
Why would a cop try to grab you?
From running a red light on the bike.
You know good and well you would have kept pedaling.
I probably would have.
It's one of those where it could be or it couldn't be, but really your gut tells you know it is, but then you always get hit with that, or are you pulling a race card type of thing, because I think it's more subliminal.
I've been stopped before, stop frisk, whatever the case may be, but nothing where they threw me up on a wall or beat me up or nothing like that. And the same time is, if they stop and speak, I speak to them as if they're a human being. People ask for the drama sometimes, and that's the problem. A lot of us ask for drama and then we cry when we get it.
What were your reactions when you found out that the officer that put Eric Garner in the illegal chokehold got let off?
I was scared to even go outside. I'm like, yo, I don't know if a cop going to see me with a pencil. Like, yo, it's a pencil. Hold on, kill him. For instance, I seen the guy
that was getting his wallet out of the car when the cop pulled him over, and the cop shot him at point blank. Point blank. Thank God the man survived.
I know a young lady who's getting ready to go into I think she's taking her test or something. When I questioned her about this whole situation, she told me in New York, it is not shoot to injure. It is protect yourself and the people around you. I did not know that.
What would be your fear for your future sons or daughters growing up in a country like this, where there's supposed to be a lot of liberties, but I mean, it almost feels like we're regressing to some degree?
To me, the biggest fear is not addressing the elephant in the room of really dealing with race in America. We're approaching a tipping point where something is going to have to give.
We can't be there for them all the time. So an officer can easily walk up to them and do something that they're not aware of or trained to handle. It's a recent study that they supposedly saying that young black males are most likely to be checked 5 times more than a white male. Like as far as like little kids. So and that's sad. That's sad. Any kids should have equal right.
I really don't think it's a black and white situation. I think it's lack of training within the police department.
Eric Garner standing on the corner minding his business. There's video evidence. He was jumped from behind, and he's a big dude. Still didn't fight them off. And instances like that, I almost feel like there is no way to say that you aren't being targeted, because that right there was a specific instance where he was targeted. Then you have, Trayvon Martin. He was walking in his own neighborhood. Mike Brown, put his hands up. How can you not say that to some degree these people aren't being targeted? You don't feel like anything like this could ever happen to you or your children?
Not really, because, for example, I come from a country where we basically are more black people, but of the police, not exactly. They are supposed to be taking care of you, so...
Keywords being supposed to be. And at this point, yes, with all of these instances that I've mentioned, they have been young black males, but it could have been anybody. And if it's getting to a point where cops are getting away with so much without any type of like repercussions, like it could be anybody. Let's talk about Mayor de Blasio and how he sat his son down to have the talk. Did your mom or dad or whatever the case is ever sit you down and have the talk with you?
Definitely, yeah. I feel like all parents should, and it's not just because, oh, an officer, you see law enforcement run or hide or be scared. My parents gave me the talk, and they told me the same thing. When you see them, you greet them. If they want to be an asshole, then you take a badge number down, and then you make your move forward. You sitting there arguing with them, got your hands in your pockets and being aggressive towards them, they're gonna be aggressive. And like I tell people at the same time, like they have a family, they want to go home too. That's all it is. People forget about that. Oh, he's just a cop. Nah, he's not just a cop. He's a human being at the same time. He just happened to wear a badge today from 9 to 5.
Mad deep, and he did not want, this guy here didn't want to say anything. Y'all would have been mad at me if I would have let him slide. I know you would have. Don't worry, I got him.
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago, so I mean, I remember pulled over by the police asking like why I was on the street, everything like that. When I was coming from getting my hair cut at the barbershop, came home, told my dad, and that's when he set me down for the first talk of growing from boyhood to manhood as a black man in America. And even though I was 11, I wasn't 11 anymore.
Being African American, raised in New York City, I think it's something that every I'm not sure of females, but as far as a male, my mother sat me down and told me how to act when a cop approaches me.
Have you heard about Mayor de Blasio and his recent activity with the NYPD? Not to say that he said that police weren't necessary, because obviously we need the police, but with the fact that the arrests have gone down, it almost does kind of question what their role is and if they are really necessary. Do you agree with that?
There's a strange irony to the fact that the kinds of arrests that the NYPD is cutting back on, those arrests were the ones that were causing problems in the community and were really bothering people. They're cutting down on them as some sort of slowdown protest.
Meanwhile, everybody on the street's like, yay!
They are necessary, because you can say that now, and then it's like, for example, people say after cops, this and that. Then the minute something happens, who you calling?
Oh, not Ghostbusters.
And then, I mean, besides that, you calling God, but it's just like, I'm not trying to be rude, he's not getting here. So we can't say we don't need them, because at the same time, our community isn't the same community that our parents were raised in. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you may curse at somebody's parents and they're like, oh shit, but back in the day, you do that, they're gonna beat your ass. You need them to enforce things, even though there's wrong ones, there's bad ones, there's good ones, but it's like, that's the world, it's good and it's bad.
Police are necessary. I just think that it's a different test that they should go through to become officers. It should be a mental test, a big mental test. You know, how are you going to handle this situation? You know, our customer service, I feel like they should actually somewhat have to go through some sort of test about that.
Do you ever fear that you yourself will be targeted being a young white male?
Honestly, one of my biggest concerns right now is that I frankly don't trust the NYPD to just protect normal New Yorkers. I honestly don't know if the NYPD are out there doing their job.
And on that note, he gave me that I've made my peace, I've said my bit face. Do you feel like something that, like what happened to Eric Garner could ever happen to you? Do you fear for your safety because of your race?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Because this is not about race or anything, it's about your personal behavior.
You thought that he needed to compose himself differently?
Yeah, they were saying that we just want to handcuff. If the state officers needed to put you down and then get choked, you could totally avoid that.
So if someone came up to you and wanted to put you in handcuffs for standing on a corner minding your business, you wouldn't feel offended by that?
No, well, maybe.
How do you plan on using your voice to speak against or speak about the things that you believe?
Getting myself in a position to be an agent of change. So continuing to progress corporately to actually be one of those who can actually make a decision that actually impacts everyone else, and empowering others to come behind me and do even bigger and better things.
Stop promoting and patronizing the businesses. Move your money from the businesses. And I almost guarantee you, if you affect the pockets, people will hear you.
That is what I really consider putting your money where your mouth is. You put your money where your mouth is and you will always be heard.
Keep protesting, y'all.
It's affecting then people who are just passerbys, like traffic and, you know, businesses. So I think they should do it more I guess quietly? I don't know.
When have you ever heard of a quiet protest? At least Mahatma Gandhi style. Black and Sexy, now it's time to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing some of your personal experiences and stories, as well as how you plan on making a stand and making a difference. Until the next time, I'm Erica Lasan. Stay real and stay underground.
You say you got too many problems to solve, when the real problem is you're the cause of it all. Don't wanna admit you being inadequate, it's your own fault. You rather just sit around looking for someone to take the fall. Feeling like the diamond in the rough because you shine in your dreams. Keep telling yourself this isn't where you're supposed to be, but in reality, you really just giving